Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Karla Cauldwell. I am a nurse health coach, and I am the creator of the Whole Life Healing Framework. I'm super excited to be here with you. And I wanted to talk to you about something that I think is really, really important for your health and the health of your patients. So, I have been working in healthcare since 2009 as a nurse and a health coach. And what I notice across the board is that it's not an accident when someone is healthy or when someone is able to recover or prevent disease. There's traits to these people. And one of the biggest traits I notice is taking radical responsibility. I have noticed that when I do that for myself in my own health, I do better, I recover quicker, I'm healthier. And I notice when the clinicians and patients I serve are like that, they're more likely to do better with their health. So I think it's worth paying attention to and worth adopting and improving your ability to take radical responsibility of your own health and well being. When I was younger, my dad used to say, Todo es tu culpa, which means everything's your fault. And I hated it. I would give him a look, and he'd always say, Mija, if it's all your fault, then you can solve it. If it's someone else's fault, you can't solve it. And as much as it used to irritate me, I really see the intelligence of what he was sharing with me. And I think it's completely true, not just for happiness and success in life, but for the best health possible. You taking radical responsibility is really, really important. So I wanted to talk to you about what does that look like when you take radical responsibility and how can you do more of it so that you get better and better. When you take radical responsibility, it means that you make it a habit that as you are processing information about, I'm going to focus on health, but this can apply to your happiness, success, but we're going to focus on your health. And so you choose to make it a habit. Everything regarding your health, you choose to start here instead of out there. And starting out there is very normal because we live in a society that places value on other people's expertise. We learn things from social media. We listen, we value experts over ourselves. Not that it's not good to listen to experts, it's absolutely important for you to educate yourself. But I'm inviting you before you start out there, here, here, because you are the expert of you. You are responsible for your own health. So, what that looks like is that you start paying attention to how you're feeling, the things you're thinking, how you're reacting. And when it comes to your health, as you're learning about your health, you become responsible for your own interactions, meaning that instead of, for example, eating greens because you read it was good for you or someone told you you needed to, you begin to pay attention to how you feel when you eat greens. How do you feel when you have a smoothie? How do you feel when you have a salad? Notice how you do with your digestion. How is your energy? Are you able to sleep better? That's very different from just following advice blindly. And it will also help you to tailor information you learn and advice that you get to yourself. self. So it sounds like a small shift, but it takes dedication and practice to start here with yourself. I want to talk about a few things that will help you to make it a habit to take responsibility. One of the important things is monitoring your thoughts. What do you say to yourself about your health? And pay attention to what happens as a result of your thoughts. Which thoughts are you having that help you do better with your health? And which thoughts are you having that don't help at all? So, for example, some things that I hear people say: I don't like exercise. I don't like vegetables. I don't like, and when I hear that, I know it's going to be very difficult to find the right foods that work or to find the right exercise that works because I'm already hearing the language is I don't like. I encourage you, instead of blanket statements like I don't like this, I'm not good at that, I want to encourage you to start saying more empowering things like, I haven't found the vegetables I like yet. I am looking for exercise that I will enjoy. Very, very different. You are preparing your mind to be open and curious, and you are setting the stage for finding what works for you. So, one of the best ways to take radical responsibility of your health is to start to monitor the thoughts you have regarding your health and start to replace any thoughts that are not helpful with thoughts that are more empowering. When it comes to your health, taking radical responsibility of who you spend your time with is also important. This is an area where you can take more responsibility because the truth is, some people inspire us to do and be healthier, and some people inspire us to make choices that aren't as helpful. So, taking responsibility with who are you spending your time with and choosing to spend time with people that inspire you to do better for your health. I also encourage you to take responsibility of your decisions. And that can be difficult because it can be very appealing to blame that book for a mistake you made for your health, or blame your neighbor, or your doctor, or your nurse practitioner. Well, they told me to. I want to encourage you instead to take responsibility. Yes, maybe you read it in a book, or yes, maybe a trusted expert said you should try something. But in the end, you chose to do it. So saying, that didn't work for me, and I need to find something different, or I need to tailor it, is much more empowering. If you keep blaming other people for what's happening, it's very difficult for you to own your own health. I want to invite you to take an active role in your healing and own that you're the one. You're the one that chooses to be curious or not be curious. You're the one that chooses to eat a certain way or not eat a certain way, or move your body or manage your stress. And I know it sounds, yes, this makes a lot of sense, Karla. But when we're in our life, living our life with all of its demands and all of the distractions, it is very easy to blame not having enough time, having a stressful job, having a lot of demands like a family or responsibilities for why we can't have health. And you can either choose to blame circumstances outside of yourself for your lack of health, or you can choose to take responsibility. And if you choose that, it can feel uncomfortable. I know it can feel nice to blame other people or job or situation. And when we take responsibility, it can feel a little uncomfortable, but it is the most empowering thing because you can act. And the good news is that you don't have to make big, huge changes. This is the basis of my work is that it's one small change at a time. And the more you take responsibility, it becomes more clear what those small changes can be. I want to encourage you to, yes, keep learning, keep listening to the advice of others and to experts, and make sure that you are adopting that education, that expertise through your own lens, meaning that you decide to try something new. Maybe it's a new form of exercise, or maybe it's a stress management technique. And you take responsibility by saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to try this for a week and I'm going to see how I feel. I'm going to pay attention to how I feel before I do this new exercise. How do I feel after? How does it affect my sleep, my eating? I'm going to take responsibility for paying attention to what happens. When you do that, I feel like you're putting your curiosity hat on and you are being an active participant in finding what works for you and what doesn't, and in what dose and what frequency and how long. You become your own coach. I am rooting for your success. And I hope that this has inspired you to take responsibility for your health. I invite you, if you are serious about healing yourself and role modeling that healing to all of the people in your network and everyone you serve, consider joining the Whole Life Healing family. Thank you so much and have a great day.